Vienna!
Hello, Vienna!
We are creative duo, Idea&Maker, originally from Czech Republic.
紹介させていただきます。アイデア&メーカー。ありがとうございました。
We had a pleasure to work with clients like Google, Cook&Eve, Emerge, Adobe, Metropolitan Museum of Art, or Nike, for example. We are mostly creating 3D animation and motion design, sometimes art, installations, and most recently NFTs. A little bit about me. My name is Maxim. We both come from Czech Republic. I'm originally from Russia, but I grew up in Czech Republic my whole life. I started with design very young, mostly using Photoshop because I was interested about the software, and progressing from Photoshop I used some music softwares as Fruity Loops or Ableton, and these helped me later to leap into After Effects, where I understand the timing and the tempo and all these related things. At the same time, I started with 3D, and now in my work, I'm trying to combine everything together: animation, design, and sound. I use Cinema 4D and Houdini as well. Houdini is very great because it has this programming aspect, which I really like, and I'm mostly just having fun with it.
My name is Johana, and I am 3D designer. I tried so many different roles during my whole journey. I started as a junior designer for an ad agency based in Prague, but I always wanted to be a full-time illustrator or 3D designer. For a long time, we dreamed about living in a city like Amsterdam, New York, London, or Berlin. And Maxim started with 3D animation, and we decided to move to London without any job offer, friends, or anything that could help us. We saved some money. We flew to London. We rented an apartment, and everything just started.
Yeah. So I had my show reel prepared before we went to London, and I think it was important to have something in your hand to show different studios what you do really quickly, and they will know what your skills are and what you can be useful for. So I landed a gig at Saatchi & Saatchi. It was my first job, not the museum, but the ad agency. Johana helped me to find this gig on LinkedIn, actually.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a good place to
start.
Yes. So yeah, and it was a week into moving to London, so it was very quickly, and I just roll from there because London is very busy and there's opportunities behind every corner.
And you need to be fast.
Yeah. So it was great. It was a great experience to be in London, and it was busy time.
Yeah, for me, I wasn't really sure what to do because I had a portfolio full of many different things and directions, and nobody really fully understand what I'm looking for. I had so many meetings with recruitment agencies. They were very polite and really nice, but they never called me back, basically. So I felt very like frustrated, and I started to learn like 3D, and I started to work on myself more, and it was for me like now or never. I made my new website with 2D illustrations and animation, and I started to looking for a opportunity again with a new portfolio. And I found a job in one beauty startup, Coco and Eve, which was amazing opportunity. Really, I appreciate it a lot. And my boss actually searched for someone who can create 3D video, and I recommended my husband, and we had a chance to collaborate together. And let's play the Coco and Eve video that we made.
Let's take a look. When we finish this video, I think we realized that where we want to go, like what we want to do together, that we want to collaborate together. And it happened few times, like in the past, back in Czech Republic as well. And it was always very nice collaboration, and we realized it really works, and we want to do more of that than just having our separate paths. So at the time we started our studio Idea&Maker
Yeah.
that we had in our mind for a while.
And that's how Idea&Maker were born. After some time in Coco and Eve, I decided to leave and push myself a bit harder, make my dreams come true, to be freelancer and to have a studio with my husband. We made our website and started to share our work online. It took absolutely like it took some time to, but people started like notice us, and we had the first greatest like opportunity to work for Google.
Yeah, we did 2 gigs actually, one for Google Beach and one with Unit 9 for Google Search Sound. It was Google Berlin, and it really suits us because this like playfulness really spoke to us, and this little animation, this little models was really nice. A nice way to express ourselves in a stylized way.
Yeah, very simple, very colorful, and yeah, it was like we were like excited to have this opportunity, and yeah, it was great.
So another gig that we did in London was with 23rd C, a design studio that's doing like 3D. And it was for Nike. So we did this composition of London with different elements and like sporty elements, skateboards and
Yeah, just like a little city with lots of details in it.
yeah, exactly. So it was really fun, and I just want to say that we did these gigs as freelancer and as a studio together. So we always, even now, working as freelancers and running our studio because it's really nice for us to do different things and then
Be part of different teams as well.
exactly
And meet new people through the studios, and that's the best way also like how to learn to be better.
yeah. At the same time, we were started to getting more remote work in London, so we decided to went fully remotely, and we moved to France for a while, and from France to New York, and then to Vancouver, and then
To Los Angeles.
Los Angeles, Miami, and then back to Prague, and now we are in Berlin. Actually. Still having our studio in London and
Opening Berlin studio
soon and New York studio soon. But it's a work in progress. Yeah, I want to talk about jobs that we did on the road. So we started to collaborate with Squint Opera, and we did some architectural visualizations with them, which was really great.
really huge.
Yeah, big jobs, and one of them was for Metropolitan Museum of Art. So we did the visualization of history of the Met, how the Met was built.
It was beautiful, and we we learned a lot about Met.
Yeah, history. At the time we were in New York as well.
Yeah,
so
just for the like a visit, we were like tourists. We were in this beautiful museum. It's like it's beyond like it's the most beautiful.
Exactly. So if you're in New York, go definitely visit Met.
Of course.
Another one that we did was for Emerge. Emerge is a LA-based startup company. They're creating this tactile environment for virtual and augmented reality. Basically, they are pushing towards technology that you can touch things in 3D to simplify. It's much more much more complex than that. But Emerge is a great team. We had really good time working with them, and we came together to explain their vision of the technology. So this is the video that we did with them, and we're using hand tracking to put the same technology in the process, basically, and to show what are the possibilities of this technology. I think that was the time I started to work more with hands in my personal work as well, and you will see that in the light in later in this presentation.
Yeah. I want to talk about the most important project from all the time, the life of Dogo. This character that I created in 2018 after we went to Plasma Festival. It's inspired by my dog, of course. That's her. Her name is Panda. She's a mixed Jack Russell. But also it's inspired by my minimalist style from the early days, especially by a series In Love with Japan. that I made in 2016. It's on my Behance, you can check it. I did lots of exploration of the styles, how she should looks like, and I experimented a lot. I started transform her character to the 2D illustration, and from the 2D illustration to 3D. And I started to think about a little stories, and I make my first illustration. It's about love because it was in May, and the 1st May is a celebration of love in Czech Republic. So this was made for this special day. Another special day is a Happy Mother's Day. It was like this little puppy with her mommy. There is a spring doggo, which is inspired by beautiful nature, flowers, and everything around, because I love spring. Another is a dinner date. Dinner date is quite funny because it's inspired by me and Maxim in living in France and eating the seafood. And after some time, Doggo started to have some attention, and the character was part of In and Proud campaign for a London Pride organized Poco and Adam and Eve. We are like special. We are very, very proud of this collaboration, and this doggo is somehow like a symbol of the pride all year. People are sharing her all the time, which is great, and I'm very thankful for that, because she was made exactly for that.
Yeah.
But thanks to Maxim, this character came to life, and he pushed this character to another level, and he made all those beautiful character animation. Since we traveled a lot, we have more stories. This one is from New York. It's inspired the city and the lifestyle there, so doggos are calling like taxi. It's just like a short, funny little story. And it was like actually shared by the Instagram account.
Yeah.
They were like super excited about this. So that's funny. And because we experimented a lot during our travels in AR, we made the doggo in AR as a sculpture, and we posted that on Instagram as this beautiful sculpture. It's in Vancouver. There is a beautiful sunset, and this was noticed by Adobe, and they asked me to work on new Adobe Air desktop version for Adobe Max event, and we were like totally blown away by this opportunity. We want to share some components that we made and some preview, also some tests, because we made a lots of tests before. It's not that easy because you need to work in a bit of basic texture. For example, when you're working in Cinema 4D, you need to make sure that you exporting everything properly to the Aero, and then also it can be very heavy sometimes, so you need to understand how big the files should be. So it looks like super easy thing, but at the end
I struggle with particles a
the
lot.
particles
to bake the
them.
animation and put it into AR.
Yeah.
But
also with the texture, I made this beautiful handmade texture. Then you need to bake them on the objects, then the lighting as well, and then actually like the find a great space, find a great spot. The weather have to be perfect, So it was really like challenge.
Yeah.
But it's look amazing at the end, and it was great experience. I'm really glad for that as well.
Yeah, thanks Adobe.
Yeah, and we have more and more of doggo. He is a fashion doggo, for example. He was made in Miami because everyone in Miami are like very into fashion as well. So yeah, it was just made for fun. Here is Happy Valentine's Day. She's like very emotional. And then Lemonade, an insurance company, asked us to make piece for them. So we make this funny, I don't know actually what is it.
But dogs playground.
Yeah, it's like playground for doggos, so they can be crazy there and, you know, jumping around and do what they want. So that was the idea. Maxim did the character animation. I made the design for that. But the biggest success, I would say, was to having a dog recreated in supermalls in China. We collaborated with Sense Art to create these bigger than life statues. The first exhibition were made from PVC, glass, and LED lights. So it's pretty awesome. And the second exhibition, the doggo became this huge balloon all over the place. As you can see, this really like started just for fun. I learned a 3D and I didn't know what to create, and I just like, yeah, it would be fun to make the dog, right? So like pretty basic idea, but at the end I had like so many opportunities thanks to this, and so I just want to maybe inspire you to find your own character or something what makes you happy. Yeah, but back to Idea&Maker. We love pushing our boundaries, so we are trying to experiment a lot with the type of photorealistic models, character, clothes, simulation, everything that we want. We just want to try it and experiment. And we want to show you this project that we made in 2020. It's a creative laboratory, future shopping, and this idea came from a major events of 2020. We had to change how we live completely, and instead of going outside, we were forced to stay inside. So we were thinking how the future shopping experience looks like, and we exploring here a future of furniture and like personal avatar and virtual spaces, and let's check the video.
クリエイティブラボアイデアとメーカー2020。
これは何ですか？
わあ、素晴らしい。柔らかい。
非常に多様。掃除。
わあ、信じられない。ウォータープルーフ。弾力性。
彼らは誰なの？
スタイリッシュ。
超かっこいい。
かわいい。
際限なく続く。
Back in 2020, I think we were trying to figure out what we're gonna do. and we experimented a lot, and eventually it come down to the next project that we did, Creative Minds. This was also our first try to do NFTs, which we were really excited about, because we love new technology, and we love new ideas in the creative space. Creative Minds was really excited project for us because we had a time limit that we need to do something, and it really pushed our boundaries to a place that we were not really comfortable with, and at the same time we found a way to put our two skills together and find the right way to produce something quickly and effectively. So Johana was developing every day different image, which eventually led to some kind of style that we were really comfortable with, and I, as a animator, was doing also really
different style of animation every day.
And I got to the place that we were comfortable with. So this project was really fun, and I really enjoyed that. And as a bonus, we put these pictures to Foundation, which is a marketplace of NFTs, and we sold all of them basically.
But the main thing what we developed during this journey of Creative Minds was this eye, which is the main object in our animation, even recently, and it's our signature.
After Creative Minds, we were approached by Czech Design Week in Prague, and they asked us to do installation, and it was a great opportunity because we come from Czech Republic, and it was just really nice to
It was a pleasure.
Recognized from Czech community as well, because we left 4 years ago, and when we returned, like people noticed us. So as part of this installation, we created 3 NFT pieces, and the collection is called Toxic Friends. We were trying to find a topic that relates to each of us, and we realized some of our designs are a little bit disturbing, maybe even that we use colors and funny, nice elements. The message behind these designs is usually more deep, a little bit disturbing, and
a little bit negative as well.
A little bit negative as well.
Sometimes in a positive way.
Yeah, it's more about like people needs to go deeper, I think, looking at the pictures. So we want to create something that people are gonna look at the exhibition and get stuck in the loop and figure out what the images means for them. So we did 3 colors, blue, green and red, and this is a progression of the toxic relationship. So in the beginning,
everything looks
very
nice,
positive, you know.
And nice.
So there's like butterflies in the stomach,
and you are like very excited about like this friendship, and it looks very beautiful, and but there is always some element.
And this element is represents a bug basically. So we've got these butterflies, then we have caterpillar on the blue one, which changes color. So this means more of like a toxic, like a poison, basically, that changes your behavior. And the last one is a spider,
which is the most puppet tool behind this scene. It's like you are really like control, and you really don't know what you are actually doing. This is my favorite one. And it's the most toxic and dangerous friend you can meet. So be careful.
This is the Czech Design Week.
And we sold everything as NFTs.
Yes.
That was like huge success for us.
Yeah, on foundation. And I think our style is changing as well with these pieces. It's not trying to impress in 5 seconds, which commercial jobs trying to do, and motion is very fast and really hectic to get attention.
And there is some style always, like there is like something what everyone doing, copying each other sometimes, or it's the new direction and everyone doing the same direction, which is completely fine in a corporate work or in a commercial work. But I think after like spending so much time in this industry, or just we trying maybe to switch a little bit our direction as well and express ourselves more as an artist.
Yeah, and thanks to NFTs, I think we have an option to do this kind of things and to explore our artistic expression rather than commercial mass animation, let's say. And I think it's not only for us, but I feel like it's changing in the industry.
Another recent NFT collection, it's named Main Character During the Day. We have 3 designs. It's a main character in the morning, main character in the afternoon, and main character in the night. And it's an abstract feeling during the day, how the day started, how the day starting, and how your mood changing basically during the day. And Maxim made these beautiful animations and sound. So it's a definitely one of the most beautiful collaborations that we made together.
We did this with Marketplace Disrupt. Go check out Disrupt, definitely.
Beautiful pieces, beautiful artists there.
And great artists. We did a few more NFTs as well.
Few collaborations, beautiful collaborations because of NFT space. We met so many great artists, and it's really like it opened my eyes how many insanely talented people are over the world. So I was not surprised, but thanks to this platform, we had the pleasure to collaborate on My Venus with Maxim and Cher Beckman. She is one of the best artists that I had the pleasure to meet recently. She's doing those beautiful characters. Definitely check her work. This is what we made together. It's based on one very famous drawing. Another beautiful collaboration was Queen of Two Personalities with our Yogev. He is doing beautiful work as well. Definitely look into it. It's really something different.
And the last collaboration was for Miss Sudoku. It's a collection of 49 amazing artists. So
all over the world.
Definitely look at each of them because everyone is unique and
special.
very special. And this is our contribution. We also did our variation of the piece, and it was also available as NFT. Thinking about our sins, I think our biggest sin is that we always go against the tide and we do unusual things, unexpected things. We experiment a lot, and I guess for some people it's not very pleasant that we don't follow the rules and that we don't do exactly things that are expected and that are cool and in right now. But at the same time, I think it's important to be this kind of person because there's not many people that can do that or that are willing to sacrifice sacrifice that. But yeah, that's why we are here.
At the end, I just want to say that it was an easy journey for us. We had to step out of our comfort zone multiple times, but it was always the best thing that we could do. So please don't be afraid to follow your dreams or, to switch your style, to try different things, or even like to move to the different country if you can. I think that was the most important step for us in our careers. And don't let anyone judge you or tell you what you are not good enough or your portfolio isn't perfect. I think we are like amazing community and we need to support each other.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
See you there.
And we're back. Really excited to be here with Maxim and Johana Kroft, Idea&Maker. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for the talk.
Hey, thank you for having us.
Thank you so much for having us.
And I'm going to start with my first questions. Where are you at the moment?
We are in Berlin.
Oh.
We moved here just recently from Czech Republic because we travel a lot past a few years.
Mm-hmm.
We are like back in Europe right now and we are very excited to be here. So yeah, but we are still new and we are looking for friends. So.
Okay, so how long ago did you move to Berlin? Like a year ago or?
Oh, no. We moved here recently, like 2 months ago.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
1 month.
Very fresh. Well,
Very
your
fresh.
apartment doesn't look like it. It looks, I mean, you were carrying around your phone before that, and I saw it looks astonishingly, how should I say that, ready. I don't think my apartment looked like that after 2 months.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
we've been living on Airbnbs actually for
Oh, okay.
4 years now.
Okay.
No, 2 years.
2
2
years.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's like a short rent apartment.
Oh,
so
okay.
Yeah, so it's usually like ready and we
ready
just
to live in.
have
Okay.
few bags and our laptops.
Okay. So you said 2 months, and before that you lived in Prague for a short while. Was that right?
Yeah,
Or
we
you
have
went-
to go back because we travel around Canada and US.
Mhm.
Just and we were a little bit stuck in there because of COVID as well.
Mhm.
We wanted to move back to London, but it was like impossible during the pandemic, we were like very scared also like to do some, like some big decisions. So we we decided to just stay safe at home and see our families. But we were there just like for like short visit as well, and then we decided to move to Germany, to Berlin, because it's a hub of like creatives and of art, and we are very happy about this decision.
Okay,
So,
and it's
yeah.
not so far from home, right? Moving.
No, it's like
Yeah, it's just 4
4
hours.
hours.
Yeah,
or-
with the train, so it's very easy to see our family again.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's in
So
times like this.
it's nice.
It's nice to be close to family, right?
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
always.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
like you never know what's gonna happen during like those times. So it feels very safe here.
Okay.
I really like it. Yeah.
Then let me ask you, because we had a lot of speakers, couple speakers. We had yesterday had Viv and Elliot, and then Nydia, our speaker on Monday, and Martin, our speaker on Tuesday. They are a couple, so we had a lot of creative couples on, and I'm always interested to hear how difficult or easy is it, to mix the private and the business side of your life. If it's so, let's say, it's always there, right? I mean, it's kind of hard to separate the two, or where are your
It's definitely hard.
Yeah.
I mean, we were trying to find different ways how to separate those two things and how be productive as well.
Oh,
So
here's the rest of the family.
yeah,
Wanda wants to say hi.
I
always with us. Yeah, so we were, for example, trying to work in separate rooms, or we tried to work in the same room, and it sometimes we were having like a workplace as well where we go to. So
Like
we
an open
have,
space.
yeah.
is
So we
great.
have our home for our personal
Life.
doings, and
Okay.
Yeah.
then like going to work like to like a shared office, which is really nice. But sometimes we work from home as well. So if it's sort of balancing. I guess there's no easy answer like how to manage it, and I guess every couple is different as well. So.
Okay, we have a question from Maria. She says, amazing talk. Really love all
Oh,
of your
thank you.
work.
Thank you, Maria.
I can say to Maria that they love your work, at least the work you did on our, because she was working with us on the designs for this
Nice.
year's.
Beautiful.
Beautiful, I love it.
So Maria's question is, how many people are working at your studios? So,
It's just us two.
just the two of you?
Yeah. Sometimes we hiring freelancers to help us, and it's great to work with like more people, but we are very small, and we like don't have that much work, to be honest, like to work like more people or teams. But yeah, we always hiring someone when we need help.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's more of a project-based
Yeah, absolutely.
situation?
Yeah.
So,
It's really hard to manage like people remotely at the same time when we move all the time. So we are happy just like it's just two of us and we can manage ourselves.
Oh yeah, it's like really hard for me, even like to manage someone else, or I tried it, and I think I'm just like good to do like my own stuff, and Maxim doing his own stuff, and yeah, but it's nice when we can collaborate with someone. It's always nice to have someone else there and helping us and support us. So yeah, I hopefully like hopefully we got some gigs in the future.
Yeah.
I mean, I think what a lot of people experience, especially when you're working on bigger projects, it's always nice to have a bigger team. But if you start, having your own studio and you start hiring people, it's always a matter of keeping these people busy. And it feels like at some point it takes so much time to keep people busy in terms of, getting jobs and organizing and looking for stuff for them to do, that your own work feels like it's hard for people to keep up with their own stuff and keep being creative. So do you feel like because we had a lot of people saying that we had a discussion yesterday where we talked about inspiration, and a lot of young people always ask for inspiration. I find that question a little hard to understand, because I feel like as a creative person there's an urge or a need to be creative. There's no need for inspiration in terms of I need this in order to get in the mood to create. But I think the question sometimes is, how do you, like, if you're stuck or if you don't know how to keep going, what is it that you turn to? What is it that keeps you going or gets you in the mood to do stuff, I guess?
Oh, I think it's like community around us, because as we speak, for example, about the NFTs, I feel like people around us, like, you just like you can open the Twitter and you can see like, oh my God, like people like every day dropping amazing art, and you are just like, oh, I need to like do something with myself. So I would say it's always like, for me, it's like Behance or social media. When I see someone like create something like awesome, I'm like, wow, I really need to just like do something as well.
Okay.
So yeah, and also like I feel like we like love to create. It's really, there is nothing else for me, even like when I want to do something else, I'm always thinking, I want to like do this 3D thing, and I'm always thinking about something what I want to create. So for me, it's more hard to find the time and manage the schedule than about the like to find like inspiration or.
Yeah, so the inspiration for you is the community and the people that they are creating. It doesn't matter like what they create.
Yeah, absolutely. Like everyone around.
There are people around that create basically, and that's the inspiration.
I would say like the community, like the whole community, from like students to professionals, like everyone. Like making something.
Feels good that like young people create and like old
and they are like
create.
better and better, like oh my God,
it's just feels good to be part of this.
So
and we are part of the same community, so it's great like to support each other and
So do you feel, because we've talked about that as well with our former speakers, do you sometimes feel pressured, especially if you look at all the stuff out there, and then there's a lot of people just putting one amazing piece after the other, and it feels like you're so far behind and you're not really keeping up with what the other people are creating. And I sometimes find myself in a position where I feel overwhelmed by how much good stuff is out there and how I'm not able to like come up with the same amount of stuff. Is that happening to you, or?
I think it happened to us like in the past.
Yeah.
But then we started to think like it's not really like, you need to focus on yourself and what you want to do and what kind of like things you like. And because when you see someone like working in Houdini and do like fashion design in a Marvel's designer or like different programs, you really like, you need to find like your own journey and your own like stuff, I think, than just like look around and like, of course, like people will be always better, always like will be
they've got their own path
Yeah.
basically, and it's something that people don't realize, I think, when they see somebody's work, like this person's got more years into that work, he or she's got their own path, and it's good to focus on your path basically, and focus on yourself. What's the next step you want to do in your creative work? What you did right, what you did wrong, and just focus on yourself. Yeah.
I think for me, sometimes I see, I find talking to other creative people helps a lot with that, because you start understanding that those people are not superhuman, and they're
Exactly.
going through the same stuff that you're going through.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
Totally.
having like an idea of who that person is kind of puts the whole thing in perspective. You look at the stuff and you go, oh yeah, great job, but you know that
Absolutely
person can be lazy and can be, just is basically just the same as you. But and I think that's also something I always enjoy about the conference, because it makes those creative minds behind it, gives them a human appeal, because a lot of people feel like if you just judge the artwork, it fails to represent the people behind it. And I think I love making offs and all that stuff where you kind of look behind the curtain, and all of a sudden it feels like there's a lot of luck, there's a lot of random things happening, and sometimes it's just working together that makes it great, or something is just happened by accident and or mistake, and
Yeah,
I think that makes
absolutely.
everything a little less heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's good to speak about it, because mostly when you see some like super cool work, like there is like teams and teams working on it, and or like people really like they learning something for years. So, and someone is even like I really can't compare myself to anyone, because I'm like not like fast learner. For example, I need like some time to understand it. I'm not just like, wow, yeah, let's do it, and like I'm super cool. Like no, I'm really I need to like learn very like I need to understand it, and it's sometimes for me really hard. I need to like do it like few times, and yeah, so it definitely take me some time, and then I see people around me and they are like wow, and they are just like that and they can do it, but like everyone's different, and for me personally it's like I'm happy where I am, and I hopefully I want to learn more, but it's like no pressure, like everything takes time.
Another question I like to ask people, especially if people are, or a question I have because I'm interested for the younger generation, it feels like, and I'm going to say our generation, I hope that's not offensive, but our generation has experienced a time where information and knowledge was kind of sparse and not really available. I saw the picture of Maxim on his computer, and I remember times where, if you wanted to learn something about Photoshop, you needed to get a book and figure stuff out by yourself, and there was no online tutorial, there was no, all that, kind of knowledge and this vast amount of knowledge that is available now was inexistent at the time. So I always question, what would I have done if that information had been out there already when I was younger, and it feels like now the question is more the question for a filter to kind of get the information that you really need, rather than like having any information at all. I feel like for me it was any book I could get my hands on was very valuable, and I was just going through those. But nowadays it feels like, which of the tutorials should I watch first? Which online course should I take? Where do I start? And I was wondering, any thoughts on that from your side?
Yeah, so we are both self-learners basically, and we learn everything from tutorials and from some courses basically. So yeah, I think it's exciting time because you can really learn design really quickly and just jump into it and just go from there. So I think it's great. I understand that there is maybe too much information around.
And too much programs you want to learn, because like there is like you want to start with 3D, for example, and there's like few softwares, so you need to choose.
And you can do like so many things in 3D. You can focus on like
typography,
character design.
character.
You can do visualization, like product viz or art viz, or you can do motion design,
interior design.
Yeah, so it's hard to find your way, but I guess like everybody needs to do their research. And what worked for me as well is trying different things. Like if you can try a little bit of everything, you will see like what excites you and what not, and it gives you some kind of direction you can go from.
Yeah, that's true. That's good. I actually I wanted to do like so many things. I wanted to do typo, then I wanted to do characters, and like I think it's nice to just try it.
Yeah, you've tried everything almost, yeah. And you find your way as well.
Yeah. I think I find it, but yeah, I'm always like experimenting, so who knows?
No, I think that's a valid and a very important point, because I think a lot of young students, the experience I've had, especially with young people, is that they always feel like maybe it's the wrong choice they're making. Because there's so many choices, what should I focus on? What is it that I need to do first? Is there a right way for my career? And what I was trying to say is for us, it was, or for me especially, it was like whatever I could get my hands on, I would just try it out, and I would just see where it leads me. And I think there is a lot to learn in any kind of field, no matter what it is. And if you want to, start baking, that's also, something you can take something from it for your, in understanding more. And I think the curiosity is what you should always kind of nurture that, try out different things, and you never know what it might bring to the table at some point. I think that for me, for example, teaching has changed a lot, because I need to like break stuff down and make it really understandable and easy. And I feel that now in my job, it's helping me, because I do that. I naturally break things down and try to find the essence of what I'm trying to do. And the same thing happened with sports, for example, where I was working as a coach for a long time, and it kind of helped me understanding motion, for example, a lot better, because I was watching people doing one particular motion the whole time and trying to optimize it and trying to look at, and it really helped me focus on understanding emotion and understanding where it comes from, and understanding the principle that when you do something, it will lead to something else. And it's not just that one part you need to watch, but the whole movement. And beginning of a movement is the result of the, and back and forth. And so I think there's a lot to learn in everything that you do. And whether it's going to be successful or not is not necessarily relevant. You don't have to be you don't have to develop your own type or typo in terms of, typography can teach you a lot. And it doesn't really matter whether you're going to be a typeface designer at some point. You can still, it still changes a lot your knowledge is not, it's not lost, right? It's not, it's not time.
Yeah.
It's not, I think there's a lot of, am I wasting my time? And I think whenever it's creative, that's at least, that's my point. I'm like, whenever it's creative, you're not. And it can be, it can just be a nice birthday present for friends. There's still something to, to learn there. Okay. A question from Rafi was asking a question about your bucket list. Is there anything, any place you still need to go, you want to live at, or any client you definitely need to work for? Anything on your bucket list that you need to do?
Yeah, I think the next step is to open the studio in New York.
Mm-hmm.
So we're currently waiting for the visa. It's like very long process.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's on the bucket list for a very long time. Hopefully, like this or next year, gonna be okay. And we want to create like a gallery in New York and present there like people from Europe or Russia or like everywhere around the world, basically. Okay. That's our goal, I think. And yeah, do more art, digital art, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Less commercial work, but it's important as well.
Mm-hmm.
But,
yeah, we like commercial work.
Yeah, find some balance. I think find some balance between art and between the commercial work, because sometimes we are overwhelmed by like like clients' work, and it's really hard. And sometimes we are just creating lots of personal work.
Yeah, so it's too much personal work. It's not good as well.
Yeah, that's true. So I think the best thing what we are looking for to find the balance.
And we.
But that wasn't the question, right?
No, that's okay. I think it's fine to I think it's always interesting if at some point the question is just a starting point, and then where you go with that. But I think it's interesting because a lot of people are saying the same things, and I find that very important, especially for not only the younger but anyone watching. I think it's always interesting to hear what people, and the struggles are the same. Yesterday we were joking with a couple of illustrators that it feels a little bit like an AA meeting, like Artists Anonymous, where we talk about our problems and just have this kind of self-help experience. But I think it is true, and I think it's important, especially for people in the creative business, to talk to other people, because the struggles are usually the same. It's not so different, and it doesn't really matter what field you're working in. Everyone kind of struggles with the same kind of problems, more personal work, more client work, exhausted from one or the other. But it's not, I haven't met a lot of artists that, everyone's striving for that balance. And I think it's a fair point. It's a good thing to do, find the balance also between your personal life and all the creative work, because I started for myself. I started to understand that if you focus too much on your creative business or creative part of your life, you leave out a lot of other very important parts, like family and friends, and it can get difficult, because it's there's always this excuse of, it's my job now. It used to be a hobby, and no one, you know, if you miss someone's birthday party because you're working, you know, you're working on your hobby piece, no one will understand. But if it's work, it's, you know, it's easy to say, I need to work. And everyone is so understanding, right? Everyone's like, yeah, sure. But the question is, do you really? Like, is it really that important? Or is it more important to see your friends and just relax?
Yeah, that's interesting. What are you saying here? It's definitely like a part of your life when you are like serious about that you want to do it full time. It's definitely like that when you are freelancer, right? Or if you have a studio, or if you want to be just artist, it's always like you working for the client. And if you don't have a client or something, some commission, you always working on personal stuff or some art or whatever makes you happy. And the things are usually lead to another gig, right? So you always need to create something because people can like notice you and then can hire you on another work, basically. So it's like never ending story. You need to continue. There is like nothing else, right? So yeah.
I feel like I have a certain obligation to say these things because I know there's a lot of young people watching, and a lot of what especially experienced artists are saying, you know, keep busy and keep doing stuff, and you need to work hard. And it's true. It's not that I'm saying it's not, but it's also important in order to be able to do that, to take care of yourself and be healthy and be
That's
happy.
most important thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, also like if it's like, you know, sometimes too much and you can feel the pressure, and it's okay to stop and maybe switch the direction and try something different. Try like a different program, or try just like
Or just rest.
just yeah, or just
lay
like
on the bed.
watching.
It's also
Yeah,
fine.
yeah, and or like, but do something different creative. That's what I'm trying to say. Just maybe keep something can keep you busy, but like not just like design. I think it's good.
Yeah. Also very nice to do stuff like with hands. If you like, it's very easy like just like behind the screen and just like be behind the screen. But sometimes if you go to do like screen print
Yeah,
and
that's true.
or like making some mugs, you know, or like just doing something with the hands, it's like creatively. It's really nice as well. You find out that you can be creative, not only behind the screen.
Computer.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think I always feel that one of the big disadvantages of working on a computer is that that there's no hands-on experience, and those things are just digital. I mean, with NFT, it changes a little bit, but still, it's this idea of having something digital that is not. I don't know. I always find it very interesting to have something printed out or just because it feels like at that point it really enters the world. Because it used to be like some bits and bytes, and then at some point, if you do like a little sculpture or a print or something else, it just feels like it comes to life in a different way, shape, or form, and that changes things. I mean, I don't know how you feel about it, but I think it really changes also the way you look at it. And that takes time. So if you feel like you need to do something, that is very time intensive. At least as I have experienced it, it's not as easy as you think. It's not just sending it off to a printer and yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We did this. Sorry.
No. I was just about to say maybe. Is there something you guys want to pitch, some things you want to say, you want to give or tell the audience, what something like as something that they need to watch out for, maybe, other than if they ever make it to New York, to look out for your gallery.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say like like my goals changed a lot like during my career, and it's totally okay, because when I started, I thought about myself. Like I saw like the people who have the success around, like, wow, I want to be like them, and I want to have it like very like fast, but you can, like, there is a plenty of years, and you can achieve that like in your 30, you can achieve that in your 40. Like there is like different timing for everyone. And I just like want to say, it's like, don't be hard on yourself, like don't compare yourself to anyone, and just like enjoy the journey. It's like it's the best, it's the most beautiful thing. When I started, I always thinking about it, it was great to start without nothing, and how did I learn everything, and I met like very special people to me during this journey. And I have like, it's like everything is in front of us as well. So I would say just, don't be hard on yourself. There is like the right timing, and it's in front of you. I think that's it.
Oh, perfect.
And I would say, like, don't be afraid to make big decisions, like
That's true.
and listen to your instinct.
Okay.
Yeah, like if you want to move somewhere, just
Or quit your job, like
Just do it.
Just do it. Just don't wait.
like it's we were like in a position really when we back in like 4 years ago, when we really like we just quit our jobs, and
We didn't know what to do, but it was the best decision that we did.
and we were like without like even like that, like we were just money for 1 month. We have this like budget, and when we like can make it here, we need to go back, and that's maybe was the like the push us really hard, like we need to do it, like we just...
you will make it, like no matter what, like if you go for it and you stick to that, you will make it, I think. There will be struggles, of course, but it's part of it, and I think you always learn from downs. When you're
it's
up.
important to be down, because then you can be on the top,
Perfect. That's a very, very deep message. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for everything.
Being
Thanks
here.
for listening.
It was a pleasure, really.
Yeah. And so in short, everyone out there, quit your jobs, take a risk and enjoy the journey.
Oh my God. But be careful as well.
But be careful as well. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Maxim, Johana, thank you so much. I hope to see you soon. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you. Bye.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.